Yeah, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Dead on Dave. Welcome back to the channel. It's wrestling time. It's your Raw review time. It's your Dead on Dave Raw review time. What'd you think? Did you like Raw tonight? Did I like Raw tonight? Let's find out together, shall we? It's time. I'm ready. Are you ready? Let's go. Cut the music. What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Dead on Dave. Welcome back to the channel. As you can see, we have a new background today, and of course that is courtesy of the one, the only Isaac Rojas. Great job, Isaac. Look at this thing. It's all fancy and pretty, and it looks like there's lights up on the top. So there's all kinds of cool stuff going on there. Thank you very much, Isaac, for the wonderful work, as always. So if you guys are noticing, we got a couple of tickers going on. All the information that you want to know about the channel, everything is in the blue ticker. And then the yellow ticker, there is a new trivia game that we're playing here on Dead on Dave Productions. And if you do well, you put your points that you legitimately earned in the comment section below. At the end of the week, I will tally them up, see who's doing well. And then on Sunday, I will bring whoever has the most legitimate points, which, of course, it's all subjective. I'm basically just going to bring on the person I want to. Ask a couple of trivia questions to them live on the show. If they get them right, then you get 5 minutes of unfettered, uncensored rant time right on Dead on Dave Productions live viewer questions on Sundays at 1 to 3 p.m. So it's really easy. You play the game, you answer some trivia, you learn some stuff, and you possibly get to rant about the things that are driving you most crazy in the world of wrestling, sports, and life. But that's all for there. Let's get into today, because it is Monday Night Raw review time. Now, I just got done doing the Joe Cronin show. Usually I don't do them back-to-back like this, but I'm kind of wired, and I want to knock it out while everything's still fresh in my head. I was very pleased with Raw, top to bottom. I really was. I actually really enjoyed Raw quite a bit, a little bit surprised at it, and we're going to get into all the reasons in a moment. A lot of the people who were calling in on the Cronin show were pretty damn negative, and that does not seem to be the popular opinion, though, in a lot of the dirt sheets and a lot of the comment sections that I've been reading. Most people seem to be pretty happy with this Raw, and I got the same feeling. I mean, I felt the same way about it. So let's go ahead and delve into exactly why. Let's kick off this Monday Night Raw review, shall we? So Randy Orton kicks it off, comes out, promises to RKO everybody after Seth came out and just basically just ran his mouth. It was a meh opening, but Seth with great heel work yet again. I like what Seth is doing. Some people are a little bit annoyed by it. Everything Seth is saying, it's controlled, it's concise, it's complete, and it makes him look like the type of heel that they are trying to have him come off as. So I'm completely fine with it. I'm actually really enjoying the things that he's doing right now. So after that, they jump right into a match. It's a quick little match. Ambrose and Harper, they decide they're going to go right out and this is how they're going to set up their match at Extreme Rules. Have a match, get them thrown out real quick, and sure enough, I thought it was going to be like a no DQ or false count anywhere match. It ends up being a Chicago street fight between Ambrose and Harper at Extreme Rules, which I'm fine with. I got no problem with it. Neither one of these guys really have a huge storyline going on right now. There doesn't seem to be any direction for them, and they need something to do. So I think it's a pretty damn good option to continue their feud that they kind of started months back, but really did pick up here at WrestleMania when Harper put him through a ladder. I think Ambrose really needs this win. I think it's an important one, especially because I do see big things for Dino here coming up soon, like a feud with Seth Rollins for the title. I think that's coming up relatively soon. I think that's going to be our big summer feud. For that to happen, obviously, he needs to start picking up wins, and he needs a decisive victory over Luke Harper. Harper has looked very strong lately, so I think a loss here is not going to affect him as much as it would Dean Ambrose. So as much as this match is thrown together at the last minute, but there's enough build to make me care about it. I didn't mind the segment. I kind of liked the way it went. I liked Harper talking before the match. I thought that was interesting because he doesn't do a lot of talking, and he goes, "I'm going to make you fear me." I like that. I enjoyed that quite a bit. So after that, Seth Rollins goes backstage, and he's oh god, yeah, this was great. He's getting all agitated, and he's looking around, waiting for Randy to strike, because Randy said he was going to get him, and he was also going to RKO every other son of a bitch that he saw. And then out of nowhere, the primetime players come in. Titus O'Neil barks behind him, scares the crap out of everybody. Had a little bit of interaction with J&J, and before he said, "Man, with your little, I will beat your little ass." That was great. Titus acting like a big old bully. And then Darren Young out of nowhere, tender white meat. What the hell was that? Tender white meat, that was his line. Look, the primetime players are still the most memorable tag team off of Monday Night Raw, and yet they have not been in the ring. They're not wrestling matches, but they're the most memorable tag team that we have right now on the roster. That's crazy, aside from what Kalisto is doing. And that was actually really true before tonight's match for the number one contendership, which we'll get into in a second. They teased early on, and I noted this, and obviously they teased it heavier later on, but they teased Triple H having doubts about Seth Rollins, very slightly, but it does seem like Triple H was kind of siding with Kane a little bit more, and telling Seth, hey, it's just one man, because Seth has been acting like a coward. I don't know if a Triple H face turn is in the works. I don't know if an Authority face turn is in the works. They don't seem to be as dastardly or as evil as they have been in a while. But Seth seems to continue to be that same guy, though. So they can go one of two ways. Seth Rollins really becoming super villainy and trying to take over the Authority and splitting them, fracturing them, or the Authority going super heel themselves, kicking out Seth Rollins and maybe replacing him with, I don't know, a Sheamus, something like that, and Seth going face. Now, they can go either way they want. I'm not sure exactly what they're going to do yet, but I think they have options. After that, the Lucha Dragons and the New Day in a number one contenders match. This was a nice back-and-forth match. The action was crisp. It was fast. And even with the small match to Ambrose and Harper, it was kind of the same way. Towards the end of the match, after Kalisto really got going, hitting all of his signature moves and tagging back in Sin Cara, who looked like he was going to get the victory. Xavier Woods, they both hit, they hit moonsaults on the outside in stereo. That was cool. And Xavier Woods hides under the ring, and as Sin Cara was trying to go back in the ring, he holds Sin Cara's feet so he can't get back in, thus getting him counted out and making the New Day the number one contenders for the tag team titles and getting the match at Extreme Rules. They cheated, and I absolutely dug it, man. I like what the New Day's doing because it's like they're still going to clap and jump and cheer and everything, but they're going to be evil, and they're going to be dicks, and I kind of like it. We clap or else we snap. But you notice Kofi's not talking because Kofi cannot pull off a real true heel. Big E can, and I think Xavier Woods can. So it's pretty interesting how they're doing it right now. And it's a lot of fun. I'm actually digging the New Day. I'm digging the hate on them, and I think a lot of people are too. They need another tag team to build up. My only issue is this. They are clear heels, and so is Kid and Cesaro. But they're kind of more tweeners than anything else because they do get over quite a bit, and they're not doing things to outwardly cheat very often. So I don't know. There's different ways to look at it. And with tag teams are kind of unique where it doesn't necessarily have to be face versus heel all the time. So it's pretty interesting. As the New Day celebrates, Randy Orton strikes and gets Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston, but he doesn't get Big E. Big E was teasing that he was going to go back in the ring, but once again, showing this new side to the New Day, Big E decides to back out and leave his teammates in the ring and save himself. That I found interesting. There's so many subtle things that I found interesting in tonight's show. So it was pretty cool. I thought it was very well done there. So far, I'm just kind of digging everything that they're doing. It's pretty cool. Fandango is out next versus Axelmania, who hysterically tries to dance himself, doing all these weird gyrations. Fandango wins with that nice leg drop off the top rope. After he wins, they play the new music. They play the wrong music. They play the alternative music. So that tells me, more than likely, the original Fandango music was supposed to play. And then I think Rosa was supposed to come out to the newer music. But that didn't happen. They messed it up. So I think Vince might have put the kibosh on it, and that could explain why Rosa came out later on. We'll get to that in a little bit. Triple H does come out for his announcement, and he's not talking like the same Triple H that we're used to, like what we saw at WrestleMania. He seems humbled. He seems more down to earth, more business-minded. And he talks about NXT. He talks about Tough Enough. He talks about Tough Enough really being for the fans. And it's pretty interesting. He does all the Tough Enough announcements, and he's having the fans send in videos for their Tough Enough auditions. It made me question whether Tough Enough is even necessary because of the existence of NXT. They have the Performance Center. So this is really just about getting fans involved in the WWE and making people think that the dream is always alive. I think it's interesting. I'm not really sure if it's going to work out. Tough Enough has not been a big success. I'm yawning. I'm so tired. As big success as far as producing mainstream talent, but it does happen. The last time it did not. That Andy Levine or whatever, he didn't do nothing. In fact, I'm not even sure if he's still wrestling. So it's quite interesting to see that that's what they're deciding to do yet again. But I think it's a good thing. I think it's going to get hundreds of thousands of videos sent in. I'm sure somebody right now is sitting at WWE corporate offices waiting through all these videos and just going, oh my God, I'm going to kill myself. Thanks a lot, Triple H, But I think the Tough Enough thing is quite interesting. And if it's done well, it's backed by USA. So it should get a good following, depending on who hosts it. I think it's telling that they have not yet said who the host is, because I don't think they know. I mean, Jericho is obviously an option, but I think there are better options out there. I think if they could, they'd get Shawn Michaels to host this thing. You want a guy with some credibility, that's a great guy. What about Bret Hart? That would be interesting. I'd love to see Bret Hart host Tough Enough. Who do you think should host Tough Enough? Who's the guy that would really make you want to watch it just a little bit more? Well, anyway, after Triple H continued to talk about Tough Enough, Kane interrupts. Kane is giving his 2 weeks notice. He's quitting. Honestly, this was Kane's best promo work in a long time. Him and Seth Rollins going back and forth, because Seth does come out too. They go back and forth. Kane starts screaming at him, we made you champion. We could have made El Torito champion. I mean, it was great. Kane really did get it, and he was rewarded for his efforts, as Triple H made him Guardian of the Gate at the Cell match, which, if you think about it, Kane being the Gate Guardian is kind of apropos. It's very appropriate. For his position in the company, it's kind of reflected in this match. He's the Guardian, man. New talent's got to kind of go through him and stuff. So I kind of like that. It's kind of cool. It's an interesting situation and a little bit unexpected, to be completely honest, because you don't know which way this is going to go. Is Kane going to go out for himself? Is Kane going to screw the Authority? Is Kane just going to screw Seth Rollins? Or will Kane, which is the most likely scenario, stay with the Authority and attack Randy Orton, costing him the match and thrusting them into a program for the next foreseeable future. I think that's a very good possibility. After that happened, after it looked like they just squashed the beef between Seth and Kane, backstage segment, once again, Seth and Kane going back and forth yet again. Rollins talking about how he is the man, and Kane is, and they're all talking about what being the man means, and I thought that was cool. I liked a lot of the subtlety of the language that they used tonight. I thought it just, everything was working for me early on. It was, all the flow was very quick. You know, the matches that were early in the first hour, very quick, crisp, no real botches. All the backstage work was real solid. A lot of dams, bitches, and asses. A lot. Almost pushing the boundaries of PG, I felt. Now, I'm not saying that this show was, oh, the Attitude Era is coming back. But for lack of a better word, this show had a lot of attitude. It was a little more edgy than usual, but in different ways. And we'll get into more of that in a little bit. Naomi, I think, is a really good example of this new attitude that is coming into the WWE. Her and Brie was absolutely terrible, but it didn't seem to matter. Naomi was bound and determined to have a great match. And WWE gave them some time. Naomi didn't botch. Brie wasn't giving her much. It almost seemed like Brie was disinterested or sandbagging her, but they still had a good match. I hate that rear view, but she really hit it nicely for a change and actually made it look like a really viable finisher. Naomi stepped up. There is no question. She stepped up. I think her as a face, though, she needs to get rid of the rear view. The rear view is more of a face finisher. Now she's a heel. She needs to change that up and really quickly, and they need to give her a more devastating finisher. I like that little scissor DDT, the head scissor DDT from a sitting position. I like that. I think that's a really good finisher, but we'll see what they decide to do. Really good match. I got to give Naomi a lot of credit. I got to give the WWE credit for giving this much time to two divas that really are not, you got Naomi, who's been very inconsistent. You have Brie, who for seemingly the past year has really not done all that much great in-ring work. I mean, her best match was probably with Stephanie. But it was a good one. They had a good match. And Nikki on commentary I thought was good. She was almost working more like a face. It seems like she could be going face. And if that's the possibility, look for her to be gone very soon. Because if they're going to keep the bells, they're going to keep them as heels. Because that's where they're best. Let's face it. Backstage, they're showing catering, all the wrestlers eating and stuff. And Heath Slater going on and on to Eric Rowan about how he's going to become the next United States champion tonight when John Cena does his U.S. Open Challenge. Heath looks up and gives the worst gasp and Randy plows him right through a table with the RKO. Heath Slater's gasp. Terrible. And this is why Heath Slater is where he is on the card, because he does stupid shit like that. Roman Reigns out next, and it seems like the fans forgot to boo. Oh no. But, Roman even comes out, grabs the microphone, and without any real responses from the crowd as far as booing goes, he gives a nice, quick, solid promo about, hey, I'm here to fight. Let's fight. And out comes Bo Dallas, the return of the Bo Lever. Why the hell does he look like a Chinese stereotype? He really does. He looks like a 1940s Chinese stereotype. If he was wearing a friggin' one of those symbol hats, hats that look like a symbol, holy God, he would look like, oh my, just terrible. What the hell are they doing? So Bo keeps running his mouth until he's inevitably punched right in it, and Roman hits the spear, and to end the little segment. Nothing too much more to say about that little thing. It was not bad. I enjoyed it. It was cool to see Bo back. We'll see what they do with him, if he's going to get into any type of a program or if he's just there to be an agitator. I'm not sure, but I'm sure we'll find out very, very soon. This is where the night started to change for me a little bit as far as like taking it to an even better level. Sheamus and Zack Ryder. Sheamus had a microphone in his hand and never put it down. He beat the shit out of Zack Ryder while talking crap to him on the mic the whole time. That was incredible. This whole friggin' segment was so well done and so interesting. Ryder getting the holy hell beat out of him and all of that. Ziggler interferes and hits a zigzag, which of course disqualifies Sheamus or disqualifies Zack Ryder. So Sheamus wins with the help of Dolph Ziggler. I thought it was pretty cool, man. I like that Ziggler got involved. I like the fact that Sheamus beat the holy crap out of Ryder, and I love that he did it with a microphone, talking the whole time, running him down, running the fans down, talking about how, he's a normal man and Sheamus is not normal. I love that. I thought it was really, really cool. They announced that on SmackDown, after SmackDown, Y2J, Chris Jericho, will be interviewing Stephanie McMahon. That should be great with their history of the 15 cent, 2 cent, 5 cent trash bag hoe and all of that. That should be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to that too. That should be crazy. Hopefully they will take the shackles off and let them both kind of shine. Should be a lot of fun. U.S. Open Challenge next. Cena comes out, and let me sum up the entire promo. Now, they're not using Siberian unbreakable steel. Now it's unbreakable Russian steel. And so I was wondering who was going to be coming out to take on Cena. Was not expecting Kane. That was kind of cool, not seeing something like that happen. Kane comes out, shows that he still has a little bit, I guess, and takes it to Cena pretty well. In fact, hits his finisher, hits the chokeslam, to which, of course, John Cena basically jumps right up, hits him with an AA, and gets the win, retains his title. I'm like, Jesus Christ. Nobody rebounds from a finisher quite like John Cena. And if you could see me right now, you'd see me shaking my head. Horrible. I thought I was going to have a seizure for a second when I saw that Rock and Wrestling is returning and coming on the WWE Network. Holy childhood Batman. That is awesome. I love the fact that we're going to get younger generations, or even us older guys, who are going to be able to watch and in some cases rewatch Rock and Wrestling. I thought that was really cool. So I'm very excited to watch that. Just take me back to my childhood, Take me back to a place that will make me feel good again. So I'm very excited to see what happens there. I want to watch it so bad. I'm probably going to watch it after this, to be honest, because I love those cartoons. I love all the classic wrestlers that I know we're going to see. Macho Man, Steamboat, all those guys. That is just too cool. So Renee cuts a promo. She does an interview with The Miz, and she interrupts him so she can go live to Saxton, who is standing by with Cena. So completely showing no interest in The Miz. I thought that was pretty neat. Cena gets jumped by Rusev, and a brutal looking spot with the chain right across John Cena's face. He used the chain to cinch in the Steiner recliner. That was awesome. I thought it looked really good too. His nose should not have bent that way. That looked ugly. Oogalaga. So Ms. Mizdow is up next finally. And we're finally going to get an end to this. I never trust Summer Rae. I know I mentioned it last week where I thought there was a good possibility that Summer Rae could be turning on Mizdow. Well, it did happen. She scratches Mizdow's eyes or puts weird hands in him or something. I don't know what she did. But she distracted him enough for Miz to get the victory. So now nobody knows what the hell is going on with The Miz. Because he's supposed to be leaving to go film a movie with Paige. Well, if that's the case, why not let Mizdow take the gimmick? Because Mizdow truly does need it. The Miz doesn't at this point. He needs to be reinvented. Mizdow has not shown the capability of getting over on his own, so none of this makes sense. And Summer's turn doesn't really make sense. Oh, and by the way, RKO number 4 gets hit on Miz after the match. So Bray Wyatt cuts a promo in the back, and it looks like what a lot of people thought was Wyatt targeting Randy Orton, because that made a lot of sense. Well, that looks like it's not going to be the case. It looks like it's going to be Mark Henry or Ryback. It does look like those two are the most likely candidates. Somebody said that they thought it could be Triple H. I don't see the connection there, and I don't know if that's what they want to do at this point. Triple H probably doesn't want to lose a match in the middle of the year. If he's going to lose another match at all, it'll probably be at WrestleMania to put someone else over. I know he didn't do that with Sting, but Sting's not a younger guy. He owed nothing to Sting. Let's face it. Wrestling owes nothing to Sting. Sting's had a great career, so I have no problem with that loss, by the way. So Triple H doesn't make a lot of sense to me. However, based off what Wyatt said tonight, Ryback or Mark Henry looks very, very likely. And since Mark Henry hasn't been around and Ryback comes out next for his fight after this promo, Ryback makes a ass ton of sense. I think that has to be the matchup. I guess they could go with Bray Wyatt. Or I'm sorry, with oh God, I completely botched it with Mark Henry, but Ryback's the guy. Ryback looks like it's definitely the guy. Oh, I think I'm blacking out on air. This is crazy. Adam Rose and Ryback. Ryback did come out for the match. Adam Rose and Ryback. Quick match. Bye-bye, Rose. And then Ryback tells an epic knock-knock joke. Knock-knock, who's there? Or no, was it a knock-knock joke, or was it, what did the banana and the hot dog say to each other? Nothing, because I shell-shocked them. I love that. Ryback being crazy, I really, really enjoy. So next, things take a little bit of a turn as doubt for the first time is creeping in about Daniel Bryan, at least outwardly. Usually they don't announce these type of things, which of course makes people automatically assume if they're talking about it, it's got to be a work. Well, that's not necessarily the case. I think that they are talking about it and saying that the match between Daniel Bryan and Bad News Barrett is still a possibility, because it probably is still a possibility. But every day that passes, it's probably getting less and less likely. Right now, if I had to guess, Daniel Bryan will probably be stripped of the belt at Extreme Rules and will get another match in its place. If I had to guess, that's how I would see it happening. And that does kind of suck, but what are you going to do, man? Sometimes the heart just can't, you can only take so much. Oh, what the hell was I talking about? So Daniel Bryan is, I'm sorry about that. Daniel Bryan, he's probably done. I'm thinking, but it's always possible that that's not going to be the case. I've almost blacked out about 5 times during this show. I've been up all night. I'm completely exhausted. I thought I can get through it. I'm almost done, so just bear with me for a few more minutes. We're almost through. Daniel Bryan. I hope there's not a lot of gibberish in there. There's quite possibly a lot of gibberish in this episode. I hope there's not. But when I go back through it, I have a feeling there's going to be a lot of gibberish. But it's just interesting to see Daniel Bryan and his health concerns actually talked about on the air. After that, Seth Rollins' backstage segment apologizes to basically everybody. And the way he apologized, I liked it. For some reason. Some people didn't. I kind of enjoyed it because it seemed out of nowhere. But, it was kind of cool. And then they show Randy stalking Seth Rollins, which I thought was a really cool shot if you just like a visual. Main event, Dolph Ziggler versus Seth Rollins. This was the match that I was expecting to really round out the show and make it a little bit special, because that was what the show was missing, was a really epic match, and we didn't get it. It was a good match between Dolph and Seth. It was good, but it certainly wasn't great. The biggest thing that happened in this match is, of course, there was no curb stomp. Now, I got a few messages before Raw last night that the curb stomp was being banned. Now, I had not seen that yet. I've not really found any reports on it. However, sure enough, Seth Rollins did use a different finisher, which is almost like a higher up pedigree. I mean, he just picks you up, hooks the arms, and just boom. He does hook the arms like a pedigree, but it's almost like a double arm DDT, but instead of going on the top of the head like a DDT, it's just straight down like a pedigree. So that's probably his new maneuver, I'm thinking. And then if they want to go with the Phoenix Splash, or as I like to call it, the Ark of God, they always have that. Now, the question is why? Now, some people are saying that it has to do with the lawsuit by the wrestlers, these guys who really didn't do anything with their careers or anything, but they're having issues physically, and now they're suing the WWE. Of course, they've wrestled most of their careers in other federations, but that doesn't seem to matter because they're only going after WWE, which I think is absolutely insane. It's asinine, and it's part of the reason why I think the lawsuit will get thrown out. However, if this does have something to do with it, and the WWE is removing these type of moves that can cause more damage, specifically concussions, then this is almost them acknowledging it and saying, you know what, they got something here and we're going to make changes. Now, I don't know if that's the case. Usually the WWE would not make a move like that. But at the same time, that move is kind of sporadic anyway. It doesn't always hit properly. It always looks kind of weird sometimes depending on who's taking it. And it does look like people are slamming their heads into the mat pretty friggin' hard. So it wouldn't surprise me if a few concussions have come out of this. And I'm sure we're going to get more information on that really, really soon. So I'm not sad to see the curb stomp go. It's okay, but it's definitely not one of my favorite moves. After the match that Seth won against Dolph Ziggler, Triple H comes out and starts talking, grabbing the mic from Seth. Seth was doing a little promo and he gets cut off by Triple H. Well, then Triple H starts talking and Seth grabs the mic back out of his hand and interrupts him. And Triple H did not look happy. Is this signs that the Authority is crumbling? Is that what's going on? I think it's a very good possibility. Very good possibility that something is going to happen. So Kane came out to come confront Seth Rollins because Seth Rollins took a few more verbal jabs during the promo. J&J and Triple H go out to cut Kane off and not let him get in the ring. And Seth Rollins, thinking he's going to protect himself, had the cage lowered that was been over the ring the entire night. And Seth Rollins was surprised as hell when he turned around to find that Randy Orton has slithered back into the ring. And he got him just like he said he would. And he hit a spectacular RKO to end the show. Overall, I really enjoyed it. I thought Raw was different tonight. It just had a different feel. They did different things. They went away from some of the things that pissed people off. So I enjoyed all of that. I thought it was a pretty cool Raw. I was very disappointed that we got no Neville. But at the same time, you can't overexpose him, I guess. That's one thing. And so when you get him a little more sporadically, it might be a little more special. I love seeing Neville. But when we see him on SmackDown or even next Raw, maybe it'll be in a more dynamic light. So that'll be cool. I'm excited about that. Overall, I really did enjoy Monday Night Raw. I had a lot of fun with it. I do not understand why some people did not like it. I feel that it set up Extreme Rules, which has not been a very well-built pay-per-view, by the way. I feel it did set it up pretty well. I feel that the matches that are going to be on the card are pretty good, and we'll go ahead and we'll go through all of the matches for Extreme Rules right here later on in the week. So look forward to that. Maybe I'll even do it today. Who knows? I probably got to wait until after SmackDown so we get the exact card completely locked in. But there was some new matches made. Stipulations were made. So yeah, it was overall, I think it was a fun Raw. What do you think of it? I'm going to go with a 7. 7, maybe 6.75. But I'm thinking 7 is going to be the number. I enjoyed it. It was a good Raw, a lot of fun at times. And it just had a edgier feel. It had an attitude about it. It had a chip on its shoulder, as you like to say. So it was a cool Raw. Make sure you guys are checking out everything within the community. Of course, Joe Cronin Show. We just did an epic Monday Night Raw review over there. Everybody showed up except the great Chris Tosevich. Make sure you check out Tommy C over in Shot from the Point. Him and I will be doing our daily show in the crease sometime today, maybe even live. You never know with us. He's got school and such. And, of course, guys like Dave Rose, Devious Dave Rose on YouTube. Isaac Rojas now has a new one, but for the life of me, I can't remember the name. He just said it for the first time. Radical Skip or Skippy Radical. I don't know. Just type in Isaac Rojas. I'm sure that'll get the job done. And my good partner for Touch 'Em All, the weekly baseball show, Jeff the Huff Huffman, over on Grand Slam 87. If you want to see some really good videos of video game footage, baseball stuff, and just great commentary over it about real life situations like baseball and everything, go ahead and check that out as well. Thank you guys for joining me. I'm sorry if I kind of cut out there for a few. I may have went into Dream World and started yammering a couple of times. And if I did, I apologize. If not, then you didn't see anything. Make sure you play the trivia game that's now in the ticker and let me know your scores in the comment section below. We'll see you next time right here on Dead on Dave Productions. Thank you guys very much for checking us out. Like, subscribe, and share, and we'll probably do some more videos later on today since now I have an entire day to myself. We'll see you next time. Peace.